that's just crazy. And you know, we tried to cast this role and we couldn't cast it. And the child has to make an impact in a very short amount of time. And I guess it's because I'm prejudiced, but I knew my son, to me, could, you know, leave an impression. But I also felt like this could be really good for the film because, you know, I could also show Olivia my dedication because she also had just had a baby right when we went into filming. You know, her son was 3 months old, and that's a really emotional time for a mother. And for me to expect Olivia to go on this journey by herself, it's just simply not fair. And having worked on so many movie sets with actors, and it's all about like safe, making people feel safe. And if we could go to that dark place together, then we would be safer, you know?
It's interesting. And then Olivia, what stands out, there's so many amazing scenes, but that scene where you're digging through the back seat of the car and you're finding the crackers. And I might be wrong, but it seemed as though she knew that there might be something there because she made the conscious effort to go to the car. And when she ate the crackers, it was a way to connect with her son. That must have been so difficult to film, so emotional to film. Tell me a little bit, or us a little bit, about that film and maybe, sorry, that scene and others like it, where you really had to put yourself in the position of losing your child.
Sure. Well, you know, the interesting thing is that scene is the one that drew both Reed and I to this film. Separately, when we read the script, that was the scene that made us want to be a part of this. And so when we were shooting that scene, we were very dedicated to just making it as impactful as it felt to us when we read it on the page. It to me was by far the most heartbreaking moment because Sarah wakes up realizing that there's this tiny bit of Jesse still there, and she can connect to him. And when she discovers the cookie and eats it, there's this moment of bliss that's almost like a spiritual moment.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like she's taking communion. There's this.
That's what I thought.
There's this moment of being, you know, somehow in touch with him. And then the heartbreaking reality is that once she is finished eating the cookie, she swallows it and he's gone. And that was something that surprised Reed and I when we were shooting it. We hadn't necessarily thought beyond the moment of eating the cookie. And once I finished it, you know, she kept the camera rolling and I searched desperately for another cookie. And you know, there's limited time in the story to spend on this one scene, but we could have gone on in that moment because it just felt so tragic that there she is connecting to him and losing him all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what struck me too, is because she's in a state of denial, not believing that he's gone, and then you have that moment at the end where he is gone. She's mourning and experiencing grief in a two-stage process. Let's talk a little bit about, I'm curious, the elephant as imagery in this film is so magical and so beautiful. I'm wondering how much of that was in the original script and how much of that was any of it added. I think the last scene might have been a directorial choice. Tell us a little bit about how much was in it in the original and how much you added, and give us your reasons why, because it's beautiful imagery.
Thank you. The original script, which you know, I have to give a shout out to Chris Rossi, who wrote the script, and without him, none of us would be here. He is a master at creating really powerful moments, and